Hello, it's do it in public. So, hello, how are you doing, Alexander?
I'm great, thank you.
Do it in public. You have nothing to hide. Start using the internet. Join the ride.
It's a sunny day. I am happy to be here. Thanks for calling me.
Is it like sunny day or crazy sunny day? It's in Georgia, right? In Tbilisi?
Yes, I'm in Tbilisi, in Georgia, and it's sunny as hell. It's like 30 plus 30 Celsius.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit milder for me, a bit better. Okay, so let me start like with a quick context for everyone who will be watching. How we met with Alexander. So actually pretty cool story because he reached out and asked about investments to Nana. So I think we can discuss this, but a lot of things changed since then. So we've met with Alex on the call, just discussed our stories, and found out that there are a lot of similarities, like from the side of philosophy, from side of products, and also from the vision stand of things. So I think it will be interesting to discuss everything with you, but let's start with the like typical questions. So tell your story. How did you get into indie hacking? How did you get into UnicornPlatform? And what's your background?
Yes, sure. I will try to keep it short and fun so you don't get bored. I started my entrepreneur career in 2016 with one of my clients. I was working as a freelancer, as a front-ender freelancing. And one of my clients offered me to make a business together. He had an idea and he needed some help with the realization. He has a vision of making a tool for making websites. It was HTML templates.
Okay.
And he invited me to live in his house and build this together. And so we did. I quit my freelancing job, which was very profitable. I was getting like $60 per hour.
Oh, cool.
That was a lot for that year, and even today that's a lot. But it has always felt wrong. Like when you do services for clients, it doesn't feel like you're doing what you need to do. It doesn't feel like you're making something. And I hated that feeling, the wrongness, the constant feeling of the itch, which I couldn't cure. And then I was invited to the project as a co-founder. I said yes instantly. And so my journey began. We created a couple of products, HTML themes, like I said, WordPress theme, and we were selling it quite successfully. We earned like 20 or 30 grants in the first year. That's quite a good result, yeah. And then after making a lot of sales, after making like 4 products designed for designers, developers, for making websites, we started to think about making our own website builder because we did a huge research before we started making our themes. We knew the biggest players in this niche, and we knew how we can compete in this market. What can we add that the market doesn't have? But the problem was that my partner had a completely different vision on making a website builder. He was an artist. He draws with paint, with oil, like a real painter. And he wanted to make a website builder for artists. He wanted to make it really creative, canvas style. You can drag anything here and then create amazing designs for photographers, artists like himself. I had a different vision. I wanted to make it as strict, as limited as possible. That sounds like a bad idea, but it's actually a feature.
No, it's a great idea.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It turned out to be a good idea. Yeah, I wanted to limit my users so we don't make mistakes. That's a simple idea. I decide for them the things that we don't need to care about. The design, the structure of landing page, the color of buttons, fonts. I take care of most of the things, so the users don't have to. This was my vision, and we kept arguing a lot with my partner. He wanted to make it canvas style. I wanted to make it as strict as possible, and we just couldn't make a single tool, and I quit. I decided to quit and start my own venture. I didn't have money for that. Like most of indie hackers, we don't have money from parents, like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. We had to figure something out to make and keep paying the bills, right? That's quite a tough task, you know. From the day first, an indie maker had to solve a very complicated, tricky stuff, like how to buy food if you work for a project which will bring money with a low percent of success chance, with a low chance. So I had to figure something out, and I ran a small lifetime deal round.
Cool.
Lifetime deal campaign, it's a common practice. As it turned out, it was a surprise to me. I wasn't familiar with that world, but the LTD community is quite huge, and you can earn money there. The concept is stupidly easy. You are a founder of a SaaS, and you offer early adopters an unlimited lifetime deal access to your future SaaS that you're making at this moment. Thus, you get a lot of quick cash, and you can continue with the development, and the buyers, the owners of the lifetime deal license, get a super cheap offer for your tool. Imagine you pay for your website builder not $20 per month, but 200 once and forever. Like use it for 10 years. It will be much cheaper. This is what I did. I sold 50 licenses for $180 each, and this way I raised like $10,000 over a few days, and it allowed me, this amount allowed me to build the project, forget about finding clients, about marketing, about everything except the product. You can sit and code. This is how Unicorn Platform was born, the quick story.
Yeah, very interesting. Let me check. So I wanted to learn more about this lifetime deal campaign as we stop here. So you said it's $180 and 50 early adopters, so it's $9K, right? And it's also interesting for me because we now also launching some product for podcast editing, and we also discuss whether we should do this or not. But in our case, we depend on AI credits. So I think that's where the issue is probably at this lifetime. So can you tell how? So to launch this lifetime deal campaign, you already had these users, you already had case studies, or what you have?
It's a great question because you can launch anything, but you need to find eyes to actually view it, right? And I sold 50% of the licenses during the first product hunt launch. I created a dedicated page, lifetime deal offer, and put it on the product hunt first comment, so people click on that and buy if they want. And I was able to sell 25 licenses. But that wasn't enough. That's like $5,000, not that much to build a product. So I needed to sell the rest 25 licenses. And I was approached by a manager of a lifetime deal group in Facebook. I didn't know, but it turned out there are a lot of lifetime deal groups in Facebook, and one of them found me. I have put this link to the group in my story, in my blog. If you want, I can share you the link.
Yeah, sure.
And it works like this. The manager of the group finds some lifetime deals and just posts it. If people like it, they buy it. If they don't buy it. And it's that simple as that. The point is you don't just want your offer to be viewed and discussed. You also want to make a lot of reputation and trust in the eyes of these users. You want to look reputable, trustable. That's not easy. You have to have a relevant background, the skills, the resources to make actually the thing you're promising to make. Because if we don't believe you can actually ship your SaaS, we won't fund you, right? So I had that background with HTML themes. I had skills to make it, so that was easy to persuade them to purchase my licenses.
So just to clarify again, so in order to launch this like first lifetime deal, you launched a product hunt campaign, right? So it was a product hunt launch. So you already had some kind of product, or like it was just a wait list?
On Product Hunt, yes, I had a product. It was an MVP.
Okay, so it was already working, so people already could use it, right?
Yes, I made a super simple version of UnicornPlatform, as simple as possible. Basically, it was just a HTML code generator. It wasn't a builder with online, with hosting and stuff. And yeah, it was a proof that I can actually make things. Like I made this little baby, I can grow it to a big thing. And they said, yeah, okay, I trust you.
Interesting. And did anyone use it before Product Hunt launch? Like, did you have testimonials before Product Hunt launch?
Actually, the MVP turned out to be good. As good. It was selling really nice during the year as I was working on the second one, on the final version. I made like $10,000 on this first MVP version. And I was actually thinking in pivoting into making HTML generator only. I was thinking in stopping the new final version of UnicornPlatform and focus on improving MVP. Yeah, it was a success.
Nice. Yeah, it's an interesting story. And so how long did it take to build the MVP? I think it's also an interesting question.
Sure, I built it in 1 year, and actually I calculated. I tracked every hour. No. Sorry, come again. Did you ask about the MVP or the final version?
No. These versions that you launched on Product Hunt with lifetime deals.
Sorry, it took two months.
Okay, so it's 2 months. So it's something tangible, because I thought it probably took a few days.
Yeah, I wasn't that fast. It took 160 hours exactly.
Nice.
I have an article.
So do you track all your time?
Yes, I tracked everything related to UnicornPlatform.
Nice. But by the way, I worked a lot on a freelance platform, competitor to Upwork, and we also built our own time tracker. So I also was working for I think 4 or 5 years with this time tracker, all day on. So I also. But I didn't do it intentionally, so I had to build it and use it. So let's get back to story. You're building on platform, and it's cool that you mentioned. So it's 2016, so it's not overnight success. So it's basically you working on the same thing for 5 years or something, launching it, and I think we should discuss you sold it, right? So let's discuss this event and discuss the future.
Yeah. Yes, I sold it a year ago. And when people see something is sold, a project was acquired, and they start to panic, because in most cases, it doesn't end well. I was a victim of such an acquisition. For example, I was using a product called Screen, SQREEN.com. It's an amazing web application firewall tool. I was shocked by its simplicity and powerfulness. But unfortunately, it was acquired by Datadog and just shut down. That's not cool. Also, the most perhaps popular and known case in the indie makers community is the Biometrics by Josh Pickford. He sold it for $3 million, and there was a feeling that he hired. He wanted to sell it as quick as possible, and it turned out, yes, he sold it just to the first buyer who gave him cash, and it turned out bad because the buyer, without any alert, without any emails, without notifications, they increased the price for Biometrics 2 times.
Yeah.
from $100 to hundreds per month. And that isn't cool. That's not nice. I again was seeing this case. I didn't want Unicorn Platform to be like this. I didn't want it to be acquired by Namecheap, for example, like Launchaco. Who remembers Launchaco? It was like the most trending product on Product Hunt in 2016. Everybody knew it. Everybody liked it. It had hundreds of thousands of users, but it was acquired by Namecheap, the big company, and just it was just it didn't shut down. The big company couldn't find a manager to integrate it and to develop it because it's a big company. Everybody is busy with their bureaucratic stuff and sheets and meetings, endless meetings. Of course, no one can just take a product and move it like a founder. It's impossible for a huge company. It's not flexible. And I didn't want this fate to become reality for Unicorn Platform. So I was looking for an acquisition company passively. Like I wasn't publishing my SaaS on acquire.com. I wasn't talking about I want to quit. I just I had incoming emails with offers from different people, from big companies, from small companies, and I replied to them that I'm interested, let's have a call. And I waited until a right person appeared. And I had to wait like 2 years. There was roughly 50 offers.
Oh, nice.
And I had to make a lot of calls. And most of them were just companies who want to buy the user base. They don't care the vision, the philosophy, the product. We just want my email list of 40K founders. That's a huge asset and very valuable. But I didn't want to sell the emails. I didn't want to quit. I wanted to find a partner, like a strong company who can drive it forward, because I alone can't. It was too complicated after 4 years. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me add here, like as for like indie companies that were acquired, there are also 2 companies that were acquired that I love. One is SplitBee, and the second is Napkin. Do you know these companies or tools? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think the internet went. So I'll repeat the question. So there are 2 companies, indie companies that were acquired during the last year that I use. One is SplitBee, it's web analytics, and other is Napkin. It's like online IDE to launch Lambdas. So the Napkin was acquired by a big company called Klaviyo. And you probably know them. And SplitBee was acquired by a big company called Vercel. So you definitely know Vercel. And it's interesting that I was using SplitBee all the time. And as you mentioned, like I loved its simplicity. It was super simple. I can add analytics just in seconds to my websites, and it just worked. I could make it public, so it was all that I needed. And as soon as I knew that Vercel acquired them, and they also announced that they will be shut down, like you mentioned too, because they moved to Vercel, I built my own copy like in a few days because I had like everything ready, and I tweeted it like now SplitBee is going offline, but I built a clone, and some big indie hacker like retweeted it, say that's how it should be, like doing so
nice.
It's pretty funny.
I love this philosophy. This is what we promote at Mars.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't like clone all the functionality, so it will take time. So I use like, for example, MongoDB, not like a scalable database for analytics and stuff, but it just works and still works, and it's super powerful. So it was pretty funny. So it's one thing. So other you mentioned. So I think it's really interesting, like how you think, and we can probably discuss it. But you mentioned that to sell a company, you spend 2 years and 50 meetings. That means you write much more like emails. I think 500 of emails. So it's interesting, like to unveil like this path and say, like, in order to sell a company, you need to meet at least 50 buyers. In order to meet 50 buyers, you need to get at least like 500 emails. So are you ready for this amount? So it's kind of, I think these things can be engineered, like with a fundraising. like to fundraise, you should also basically meet 100 investors. I don't know. So was it like intended for you? Like, did you expect like to sell a company after 50 meetings, or it just a history?
For the record, there were like 50 emails in total, not 500.
Okay, so okay, it's good.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't have a plan. When you make something such complex as a startup or a SaaS, you might have a vision, but I stopped planning like after the first year because every single plan never went as I was expecting, and it just frustrates you every time. So I hate planning. Maybe because I'm bad at planning, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're good with planning and just don't know this. But
Yeah.
I'm also, so I'm hated, but that's, I think, the perfect type of plan when you just plan what to do today, what to do this week, what to do this month. I think that's the most powerful planning that can be. And many people, they think like, I will plan for 1 year and like in the last month I will do everything. No, like it just, and I think that's the approachable way. But okay, like going back to your story, I'll take them. So I'm interested in what this investor was asking you. So you mentioned email list was interesting for them, but what else? Like what type of traction they were asking for? To like, is it a number of users, number of pages, number of businesses? I don't know what it was.
Great question. And to finish the deal, I have to take a trip to Istanbul. This is where the founder of MarsX, John Rush, lives, and the person who acquired us. And I spent a few days at his place, and we were discussing not numbers, everything but numbers. Like the vision, the philosophy, how I attracted users, how I convert them, how I make products, how I decide on how to make strategical moves. This is what was important, not the numbers. We wanted to synchronize our visions. And even the price, the final price, the 800,000, it wasn't, we weren't discussing it. I just said this number and he said, okay, it wasn't a subject to discuss. We agreed on the price in the last hour before I left to airport to come back. Like he forgot about that, even about this number. So I think numbers are important, but if you're that type of founder who has a strong vision and you know exactly how to change the world, sorry for the cliche, and you go forward like a crazy man, like a fanatic of your own philosophy. And if you don't have numbers, it's okay too. You can find partners, investors, buyers that will respect that, because this engine inside you, this passion, is a rare skill. It's a rare characteristic, and it's valuable. You just need to find a person who values it. It will not be a traditional VC or a company manager who only know how to calculate numbers and compare one to another. You will need to find another passionate founder, like another person who wants to change world up. I'm sorry for the cliche. No, it can work only in this way.
Cool. And I also like that you mentioned, so we call it like spreadsheet investors, like the investor who doesn't understand what's going on, who just see numbers and, like you said, can just raise prices just because everyone else do it, like basically stupid type of investors. And I know the story about Warren Buffett. I know that he is highly operational in every business that he invests. I heard something about like some candy shop. So he bought or invested candy shop, and I wrote. So first of all, he's great in copywriting, and I read his letter, and it was saying like we're doing everything wrong. We need to have a different materials for our stands. So we need to place candies near like this place where people are. So he was like literally like living through the customers like live and was thinking about the brand, like basically how to do this candy shop and Apple Store. So that's like the vision, and I think the vision only comes when you actually like execute, like in this case Warren Buffett. So he spent time to understand what's going on. He spent time to taste these candies, to analyze the taste, instead of just looking at numbers and numbers.
I think it's not a correct example, not a correct comparison. Warren Buffett isn't a passionate guy. He is a professional manager. Yeah, he knows how to manage numbers. He knows what's important. He knows how to make good business. Right? He can turn anything into good business, candy shop or startup.
Yeah, but I think it's more like he mastered like this two type of thinking, and also I don't know if you know like this guy Ray Dalio. I love his book called Principles, and I think you will like it too from what I hear. But basically, he's one of the richest guys on the planet too. He's some like head of the hedge fund. But why he's interesting? Because first of all, he was promoting building in public like in 80s.
Wow, really?
Because so he was running a hedge fund, and and he like failed a lot. So like he like lost all his money when he was really popular. So he like suffered a lot through one event. But then like he learned from it, and that was his way to understand how to make the best like fund possible. So how to get the ideas, like everyone should share their ideas. So he was like doing this. So everyone in the company, they had to like share their ideas, honest opinions. They call it radical transparency. And basically he was using like technology very early to automate it. Like everyone on their meetings, they had to like submit their opinion. And even like some junior person, they can say that CEO sucks, like his talk sucks, and everyone will say, okay, it's a good opinion. So he was pretty cool. And eventually, and I think still, so what he wants to do, he wants to program his brain, basically, like to understand how he's thinking, to understand the systems, how he makes decisions, how everyone else makes decisions, so they can create this AI that lives without him. And I don't remember why I remembered about him. Okay, so I remember now, because of Warren Buffett and management. So one of his ideas of Ray Dalio, he was trying to understand the phenomenon of leadership, like who is a leader. Like you mentioned, it's like a passion, so it's probably like him called a leader. And what he found out that how he stated it. So there are two types of personalities in Absolute. One is like very operational, like management type of people who can calculate numbers and really like do everything logically. And another is like this like passionate type of builder who want to change the world. So basically, that's why companies has like CEO and COO. So CEO is a dreamer. They know how to change the world. COO just make it happen. And so he was researching, and he said that like leaders, like genius people, are those who like combines these two qualities in them. So they can understand how to change the world. So they can see like this weird future that doesn't exist, and they can build these steps to get this future. So I think like Warren Buffett is probably closer to this like genius people.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Just the vision isn't enough. You need to make it.
Yes, and it's very important because when we work with these people, we also like try and okay, so we know that it's something about the person, but they can be too creative. So we need someone boring, like to make them down to earth. So it's interesting. Okay, and it's interesting how you discuss how you sell a company. So I think. So what was your agreement with like the buyer? Like, should you be a like CEO like for some time or what?
There was no lock-in for me, but I was genuinely interested in staying in the position of CEO. I knew that the project can go really far, much more farther than just with me alone. Its opportunities and possibilities are 100 times bigger than I can bring, than I can make. And I needed to get some help. So he didn't had to ask me to stay. I just wanted to do that. I did. And the only agreement we came up to is that I get $400,000 in cash and 400. So it's 400,000 in cash and 400,000 in Mars X stocks, like 50-50. And that's totally okay to me, again, because I believe in Mars.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, so I think what we need to discuss is how will you change the world then with Unicorn Platform, because you mentioned a couple of times, and I don't think it's silly. So first of all, because it's something that we now promote in Nana. So basically, it's one of the requirements that you need to want to change the world. So I think it will be weird for people, but they will understand like the reason of saying it. So how are you planning to change the world with Unicorn Platform, or how do you already change the world? Yeah.
I want to change the world in a fundamental way. I want to change everything. Like I was in the airport 3 days ago, and I hated that my luggage was 1 kilogram above the limit. I had to throw something away. I hated that in the airport process, and I want to bring my vision to the whole world, to the things that are around us, to everything, to every processes, not just online stuff, but to offline too. Like I mentioned, airport. It's possible with Mars X. I want to spread my vision of simplicity inside the Mars X community. I want to become like a virus which spreads this idea. I want to teach every Mars X member that it's important how to achieve this simplicity. And then after Mars X grows, it will not become only a tech company, it will scale up to physical world too. My vision will be this way transmitted to the things around. So my vision is like now not limited to 5 years, but to more like 25 years.
Oh, interesting. And can you like explain more like what do you mean by simplicity, and probably some examples from like real world, like how we can like see the simplicity in airport, like you mentioned?
Yeah, I want people who want to build airport and who understands my vision, the simplicity. They find out how to make it better, how to improve the process in airport. And I want them to have an ability to make their own airport, to build it. Now it's nearly impossible, right? It needs a lot of investments, it's a lot of resources. But I don't want to sit and invest how to make a better airport. I want to give others the ability to invent it and make it. You understand?
Cool. Yeah. So as we start to discuss, so it's become funny because I can tell the exact completely words about Nana, and it's something that I'm working on. And I will. So I'm calling it a playbook or course. I don't know how we call it, but I'm going to release it today. So I was working it before the call and polishing it and stuff. But so it's actually a playbook that will. So how I position it, so it's playbook that will help to earn first internet money, like first internet dollars. But not just that, because I don't want like scammers to be in. It's like will be a long process of development consciousness before like even like starting talking about it. So I'm telling that like you shouldn't expect like short-term profits. Like you should give before you take. Like you should help people. You should showcase your work. You should be not afraid to show who you are, because that's where your future is. Like you should develop your specific. You should understand what your specific knowledge. So that's will be the core. I don't know if you know this like term from Naval, like specific knowledge. Do you know it?
No, I don't.
And do you know Naval, by the way?
Yeah.
And do you know his thread on how to get rich without getting lucky?
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, so the part of this thread is about like this specific knowledge, and I think like that's the
Yeah,
core,
I recall.
because it's pretty descriptive. So he's saying like what is specific knowledge, what is criteria of specific knowledge, like how to find it. But basically, it's just like a unique selling proposition in product, like something that exists and that is not easy to copy, and that you're known for that. And basically, like the goal of this course will be to find this specific knowledge, but while you're searching for specific, what is your specific knowledge, you just create stuff that people like, that people pay for, and so on. So that's the thing. I didn't think about physical world, like you said, airports. It's interesting topic. I don't know if it's, yeah, I think we can find the way. But I'm thinking a lot about creators, so we can also discuss it with you, like musicians. So I have many friends musicians, and we can just build startup on top of their skills. Basically, the same way as we can sell design. So we can like launch paid music production. We can start making free music for other makers that they didn't expect. Just happy to hype you. And you can just like generally direct them to the paid services for someone that is needed. And we kind of already have this playbook, so I'll publish and we'll see how
Nice.
it goes.
Yeah, looking forward to read it. Nice.
Yeah, you can take it and steal everything. And also one cool thing, and by the way, you can join, and it can be interesting for you because you create really great content, and you will understand this for sure. So I don't want it to be my playbook. So it's just unfortunate that I need to start it myself. But I want to be at Wikipedia, so everyone can submit, everyone can commit. Probably one of the chapters, it will be outdated in 1 week. Like I know it happens like in the world, like AI will release and half of chapters will be not available. But we need someone to be there, like to test it, to say that it doesn't work or it works, like to prove it works. So basically, I want like people to commit into it. I don't know. I actually made it one of the rules. I said that if you read this playbook and you don't like share your feedback, you won't get results out of it. So better do not continue.
Nice idea. You're like a teacher.
So there are a lot of cool things in it because I know how people will see it. Like another growth course, it's calm, it's stupid, it's so it's all like through jokes in it. And one of the things that I do there is probably like 5 or more times, like 5 pages. I say, if you don't like it, just close. Like don't like tell me that I'm not right. Just close it. It's not your thing. And I think it's what will make it actually like viral, because we will kick people. We say like it's not for you. Like just stop.
Interesting.
So I'm interested to see like what was on your mind, because I think you have your own like playbook. But it's cool because we're thinking about the same thing, like how to basically what is like our system that helped us like succeed in some way, like what was your system to sell startup and how to repeat it in a 10x scale, right? Like how to make the system not dependent on us, public for many people. I think that's the idea that we both share, right?
Yeah, I would love to share, to commit to the playbook. I have something to say.
Cool.
I don't believe in the idea that you can make a system out of this and then replicate. I believe every project is unique, and though there could be some success cases when you just copy, but in most cases you need to be creative in at least in one part. That could be marketing or idea or products or how you build in public, for example, or you need to be a creative person for sure.
Also about this creative person, and it's so cool. When I met with you, with James, Kim, with you, Cheng, I've tagged these guys, but I really realized that we are like now, so really on the front of like world that changing. So I thought that it's just like I didn't think that it'd be big, like let's say so. But when I started to meet with you, like and a lot of like people like you tell them like a lot of things with my words. So it's pretty weird. Like you have the same like story, you have some vision, but you have some differences. So I didn't think about it, but you mentioned like AI company will destroy the hackers if they don't unite. So I didn't think about it. So it was a good idea. Okay, so let me remember why I'm talking about it. I'm too distracted this day. Okay, so I was talking about what I was wanted to say, like about this system. Well, I agree that there is no like basically a way to say how to build MVP. So it's not possible. We tried it for a long time. It's just too different. For someone, MVP is a piece of paper. For someone, it's technology. So it's not possible. But what we did, we just went to more fundamental level. Just so I now figure out it, but I didn't think about it. So, and the fundamental things are three that I detected. It's first one, it's consciousness. Second one is discipline, and third one is empathy. And basically, we're teaching how to develop consciousness, how to be disciplined, and how to be more empathic.
These three are super hard to keep.
Super hard. That's why I was saying in the course that only 10% will try, only 1% will join.
Yeah, that's a super hardcore. I think people would more prefer how to free websites to publish your startup, like this type of content.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. And now when you know it, you probably can understand like some of the things that I'm doing in like Twitter. So first of all, I made my like private time cost $10,000. So it was like to show like the missions that we now fully committed in public like startups. If I'm talking with you in private and you download to record it, I only speak with a single you. I could speak with thousands of people with my video. So if you like restrict my records, then pay $1,000. It's more like a message. Like I want like speak with you like in private. Like,
understand. I really like that the way you dig into the building public culture, like how much you're into that. You not only follow this, but you also promote it. You evolve this. You learn the history of building in public. You're like the scientists of building in public. Like,
yeah, it's cool, and it's cool because like for 2 years it wasn't like a thing, but now yeah, it sounds like this, and it's cool. And I also feel that we're changing it, and it becomes funny because of this. And like I see more people will join, and like this right thing. So we've been trying to make it fun, and we actually feel it. So it's very cool. So yeah, it will be interesting to test. So probably you have some questions to discuss.
oh, I think that's a lot. That's enough. We have talked about a lot of things. How about we meet in a week maybe and discuss some other things? I want to discuss the Twitter algorithm, how to promote there. I think it's a hot topic, and me and John found some tricks how to deal with the new algorithm.
Nice.
That's another big topic. I want to dedicate an entire hour for that.
I love this action item. Yeah, and so what if we like three of us meet? What do you think? Like you, John, and me?
Yeah, that could work. I will ask him. He doesn't like meetings, calls. He prefers text. But if he wants, he will join.
Yeah, okay. No, like for us, we'll just make it the way that John will really want to join. But if he doesn't want this time, we can do it like you and me. Okay, so yeah, I love it. So let's meet on next week, and I'm ready to share how I use Twitter. I'll do it anyway, like in public. So cool.
Sure. Of course. Okay, thank you, Igor.
One last thing. So I ask it from everyone. So what is your message to building public community? Some short, concise, like tweet size message.
This one is tough. I spent a lot of time to compose a solid tweet, but never did it online. A tweet for building in public people. don't be afraid to be too transparent like this.
Nice. Yeah, it's a super decent advice. Yeah, and so it's what people now saying why they like my content, because they say like I see Igor in it, and it's true. And so what it gives to me, I can just give zero fucks about what I'm writing. Basically, just writing any shit in my head because I see that people found it interesting. So it's very good advice.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
it'll work.
Cool. Thank you, Alexander. I enjoyed this talk, and I'll start the recording now.